Peace, sisters and brothers. I've got my rose tinted spectacles on because I'd like to talk about enlightenment. What is enlightenment? Is it shining from the inside? Finding inner peace? For me, enlightenment is to be light, to lighten up, to let go. I'm sure you know, I'm sure everybody's experienced enlightenment. I don't think you need to be some guru to experience enlightenment. Enlightenment. You know, little kids are always enlightened. You know, I've seen a lot of people on my journeys, you know, choosing all kinds of spiritual paths, all kinds of different religions, in order to find inner peace. Maybe some have found those inner pieces. What I have noticed is a lot of people who've chosen a spiritual path tend to close the world down to the beautiful things only. And for me, a good life is to make the right decisions, always, now. And to make the right decisions, you need to have good judgment. It's not easy. And judgment comes from information. Information's not easy to find because there's a lot of disinformation. You can listen to somebody else tell you something, I could tell you something, and it could be wrong. It could be wrong for you. I fully understand that. And I often ask myself, you know, what should I tell to other people? Essentially nothing. But where I'm on this webcam now, I can't really see your reaction, and I don't want to preach to you. I want to share my thoughts. I want to share my ideas. I want to share my horrors, even. Because sometimes it's important to be able to look at the good and the bad, the dark and the light, in order to get the contrast, to make the right decision, to make the right judgment, to decide, to make life easier. You know, imagine you live in house number 7 and I live in house number 9 and my other friend lives in house number 11, and I get a telephone call saying house number 1's on fire, it's burning down. And I go and look out the window and I can see there's something burning, you know, and then I go and tell you. Do you listen? You know, do you listen, or do you just say, oh no, you know, my house is not on fire. It's not on television, you know, I don't see it, so I don't care, I haven't got time, it's not important, it's none of my business. Now how long is it until the fire reaches your house, till you get out and help the other people with a bucket of water, before the fire reaches your house? You know, that's my question. You know, I've looked on the internet, and I've looked in books, and I've seen the news, and I've seen that there are dangers. And in a way, I think to myself, it doesn't matter if I die, you know. I've had a good life. But in a way I think to myself, it doesn't matter if I go out and help either, you know, I'm helping somebody else. So at what point do I decide to look at those horrors and to tackle the flames? At what point do I decide to wake up house number 11 and tell them that the street's on fire? Maybe they're in a deep meditation and I don't want to disturb them. You know, they're in inner peace and harmony. I don't want to worry them. But at the end of the day, it's my duty to give them the information so they can make the right judgment to make their life better. Because enlightenment and spirituality and belief, if you like, isn't about finding inner peace and blending out everything else. It's about finding inner peace. It's about seeing and perceiving the world. When I was young, very young, younger than I can remember how old I was, I remembered living before. I remembered my past life. I remembered being a father, having children and a wife. And I'd recall instances, and to me it was no crazy thing. It was like yesterday. You know? Yesterday, and then we went to sleep, we forgot everything, and then woke up again after a dream. Many people don't believe in reincarnation. I don't even like the word reincarnation for some reason. But I know that I lived in a last life, and I know that I'll live in the next life. And so to me, it's not a case of I've got to make the best of this life, because then it's over. For me, it's more, if I don't get on and enjoy this life, and make a good life, and make it better, then the next life, I come back and do it all again. So it never ends. A lot of people don't believe in reincarnation, so they live this life as one life. And that's fine, that's okay. But sometimes, I've seen in religion where there's this image of going to a heaven for eternity. The danger is that it affects the way you live this life. It affects the way you live now. Even if it's not about my next life, it's about someone else's next life. It's about the children of tomorrow and their children and their children. And so, for me, there is a decision to try and make the best of this world. To save the planet, if you like. To save the oceans. To save the nature. For me, it was always a crazy situation because it seems there's so many people doing crazy things in the world, and that there's often the answer is, I'm too small to change the world. If everybody else changed the world, then I'd begin as well. But every little helps, and every person is important. You know, and together we're strong. And together we can change the world. And even then, I shouldn't make my life difficult. Just because I have to save the world, I shouldn't carry the world on my shoulder. And so I don't. But just because I want to find inner peace doesn't mean to say that I need to then ignore. And so I can still be happy. I am happy. I can still feel free and have inner peace, yet still see the world for what it is, with all of its good and with the bad. I can still use my mind to come up with creative solutions. I can show other people understanding. And I don't judge somebody else from what they're doing. I just like to give somebody the information, because then they can judge for themselves. And if somebody decides that they want to not listen to that information, then I've done my part, I've said it. They know it. for me, the main thing is to know that I did my little part. And it's difficult to know. It is difficult to know. I've learned over the years it's taken me a lot longer than a lot of people. A lot of the younger people today are getting this much quicker. But it's about trusting your heart and your spirit, your solar plexus, your stomach. Making decisions from the belly and not just from the mind. Finding out what makes you excited, and not to postpone your dreams till tomorrow or next week. Not to aim at a goal that's always in the future. You know, we're riding on a bus going from A to B, but we're always here, always now. And even when we get off the bus, we're still here and now. And when we go through to the next bus, the next location, it doesn't matter where we go, we're always here now. And so wherever we are, we need to make the right decision. Oh, we may make the right decision. Maybe there's no necessity. Everybody's got the right to be happy. If you want a happy world, it is your duty to be happy. And do to others what you expect them to do to you. It's easy. There's no great rules to it. Anyway, I'm sounding like a preacher. I'm going to take these rose-tinted glasses off now, and it's amazing how everything turns green. Peace.